Sourin, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Slate. And so I'm going to be serving as the general evaluator for this meeting. So I would like to first off start by evaluating the speeches. So I'll call against Slate to evaluate Noah's speech. Go ahead, Slate.
Thanks, Sourin. All right, let me start my own timer. All right, Noah, awesome first speech. This was your icebreaker speech, and I think you did a great job. First thing I liked was how you interacted with the crowd, your little hook there. It was very, very personal to everyone. I think almost all of us can relate to that. All of us have used social media, so I think that was great audience awareness for your topic. So I just really like, but I think you should have started with that immediately. That's my one recommendation with that. You kind of started with introducing, I'm going to give a speech today about social media. For future speeches, you can have the Toastmaster give that little intro and your name, because that's not necessarily pertinent to this particular speech. And you can start right with that hook. So we're immediately like, okay, he's going to talk about social media. This is pretty cool, very relatable. So I love that hook, but start right with it. And then moving through some things you did great. I loved your structure and how you delivered this. It was life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. That was, I think that really, again, like really clicked with the audience, and it really just kept your speech on track. Those three main points. So just touching on that, I loved how you gave examples as well. It really showed you knew what you're talking about, as well as just making yourself credible on what you're talking about. I like how you showed it's really a great tool, but you need to know how to use it. You showed that both with the example during Obama's election, I believe, in your liberty section, as well as kind of touched on the negativity and maybe misinformation aspect on the other information in that section. And then the happiness section. I like how you kept talking about how great it was. So it was important that you touched on how it can be negative and how you combat it. And that kind of essentially gave us a tip to combat it as well. Just simply unfollow, block, just avoid the negative parts as much as you can, because it can be a cesspool. So you really recognize that. So one thing I noticed you need to improve on is eye contact. You had good eye contact, but it kind of looked like you were looking down low at your screen. So it just gave a small sense that you weren't prepared, even though with your life, liberty, pursuit, it's obviously prepared. So just to really show you're prepared, look directly at the camera and maybe practice a few more times. I felt you really were comfortable with your speech. But one thing that was off that I also recommend you improve on is your tone, especially you started pretty high up when you first started talking about your life section. And then you went into liberty and it went very monotone. You were kind of just like telling us about it. This is your speech about social media and how much you use it to get your news about clubs and jobs. So I think you should have just picked up your tone a little bit more and your vocal variety. Just really upped it a little bit instead of that kind of low, unchanging tone. Past that though, one other recommendations is try and use gestures a little more. I know for this speech it was a little tough, not a ton of places to use it. Just try and find some kind of gesture to fixate on. It's not detracting, but keeps our attention. And last, just like to leave you with, again, great content. And also you were exactly in time. It was rated 5:58. So overall, great speech, Noah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
With that, I'll pass it back to Sourin. And Sourin, I was 1 minute over time.
Okay, so I'm going to be evaluating the overall meeting, and I would say this meeting went pretty swell. I know we had some people that couldn't make it to this meeting, and obviously we had a smaller meeting, but I think that all of us did our part, and I really liked Noah's speech from the beginning, and I felt like it really resonates with our times, and I liked Courtney's table topics, and I liked how they really were able to draw out answers. I guess we had a smaller audience today, so you couldn't really use all of them to a full extent, but overall, well appreciated. Slate, regarding your evaluation, I really liked it. I liked how you start off with your constructive criticism, then slowly moved into things that he did well, and also into things that Noah could work on. I really liked how it's like sort of structured, and not just like you basically said of ways he could specifically improve instead of just giving things that were wrong, like that was wrong with his speech, for example. And other than that, I think we overall did well. I think most people did well. I have to check with the reporters now. So first, timer, right? So was everyone on time?
Yeah. Yes, Noah was exactly on time at 5:58. All table topics were on time, so great job to everyone. Everyone hit that minimum one and stayed in below 2. I think just Justin's last one just went a little bit above 2, like 17 seconds.
Okay.
And then I unfortunately just went about 1 minute over our time, so I wouldn't be able to move. That's
Okay.
the time.
Okay, thank you, Slate. But then coming to the counter, since I served that role, overall we didn't have too many filler words. Noah, you had a couple within your speech, such as you had some just sprinkled in there. Justin, you had some like a bit, but not too much. I think you said it like 2 times. Courtney, as you were presenting your tabletops, you basically had none. Slate, you had barely any. I had a couple likes and thumbs here and there, but overall, I think we did good, and we didn't really have too much of an issue with filler words. Who was the grammarian? Was that?
That was me.
Okay, Justin, go ahead. Your report.
Yeah, I really thought it was good today. Unfortunately, the meeting was the derelict, the word of the day. I don't even know if I used that correctly, but I think I did. So it was pretty, yeah, no one used the word of the day, sadly. If they did, I missed it. So grammar-wise, everything was on point. I didn't have a point that nothing jumped out that I felt like I needed to write down. I felt like the sentence structure and grammar was done well, and I felt like the vocab usage was also done very well. So my report is also pretty derelict. So thank you so much. Back to you, Sourin.
Okay, thank you, Justin. So I guess that sums up the overall evaluation, and I think we did well. So I'll hand it back to the Toastmaster.
All right, thanks, Sourin. Thank you for leading that evaluation section of our meeting. That will conclude our meeting, so I'll switch off my role from Toastmaster President for some closing remarks, and we'll assign some roles. Again, just voicing what GE said, Sourin was overall went well. We obviously had that hitch up in the beginning. We got roles situated. Thankfully, we got started. Good 20 minutes late, but we got started eventually. And with the short meeting, all of us got 3 chances to go through Courtney's table topics, which I really enjoyed. She did a great job tying it in with that show of Star Wars, which I'm not a fan of Star Wars, just haven't watched them. So that's always fun doing TV shows, table topics related to TV shows like that. And Noah's speech was great. So pretty excited. I'm ready to get into the fall. We're going to get even more people in here, so we won't have to multitask like I did. I was ready to call out for help for Justin when I think, funny enough, I think I messed up the most on your times, Justin. I think that's ironic. But nonetheless, I held my ground and timed everyone and gave the evaluation. So I think we're all done here. So I'm going to go ahead. Wait, we did vote on table topics. Are those ready, Noah? Or should I do that after roll sign-up?
Yes, those are ready.
All right, we'll go and do that. And then
Okay.
now, first and second, please.
So, surprisingly, actually, first place was Sourin. And congrats, Sourin. And second place was me, Noah. So congrats to me as well.
All right, awesome job, guys. And normally we do give out ribbons in our in-person meetings. So if you want those, we could give you the physical ones later, or We should really set up a virtual ribbon, something to, because I definitely like that gratification of getting a ribbon whenever I got best evaluator in person. But awesome job, guys. And go ahead. Yeah, that's why I need screen sharing privileges. Go ahead and give me screen sharing privileges for when we do roles. Forgot about that. That will conclude our meeting. I'll just need to do this, and then we can officially adjourn.
I think Courtney has to do it because she's the host.
Oh, does she like relinquish host?
Yes, I had to make her host. I had to make her host because something is wrong with my account.
Okay.
Okay, so how do I get to the
You go to participants and then click Slate's name, and there'll be like a drop down arrow. And then you just click like make host or make co-host or something.
Okay, I think it should be.
Let's try it out. Run one. Share screen. Roll sign. And thank you everyone for coming. We're all here to hang out and become better public speakers. Looking forward to figuring out how we're going to do a social in the fall. We'll figure it out some way, despite everything that's going on. Right, so this was July 20th. You see my screen, and next meeting is July 27th. We are scheduled to have 3 more online meetings. Can you believe that, guys? We've done, what is that? We're well over halfway through the summer. That is awesome. So, I'm going to start off with speakers. Would anyone like to give a speech next week?
You have me down for that, right?
Yes, I can. I didn't write it, but I knew.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. That's right. I was down for this week, and then I said last week in the chat. So I don't know. Anyway, my bad. I had this week on in my head.
Yeah, we got you. So we got you for next week. That would be 27th speaker. Anyone else like to give a speech? I went ahead and signed up for a speech after next week. That'd be August 3rd.
I can be the table topics.
Awesome. So, ooh. We have Toastmaster. It's what I did today. Well, one of the many things I did today. Yeah. Simply lead the meeting is what you do during the meeting. Just make sure it flows smoothly, kind of watch the time, try and make sure we finish on time as much as possible while doing all of our duties, as well as prepare the agenda and make sure the roles get filled and they know what they're supposed to do. Would anyone like to be Toastmaster? We also have General Evaluator and Evaluators. We'll need an Evaluator for Justin or any other speakers. Yeah.
Evaluator for my pathways.
You want to be the Evaluator?
Yeah.
Awesome. And also, quick note. I can spell. Yes, that'd be a great job working towards your pathways. It slipped my mind, but you were a table topics master today. There's actually an elective in level 3 of pathways called active listening. I think you probably satisfied it, so we could probably retroactively have an evaluator evaluate you on the recording.
Okay.
If you'd like, so we could fill that level. That would complete a project. Just make note of that. But yeah, and I realized I just put the word evaluator. Boom. Courtney, Evaluator 1, evaluating Justin. All right, so we'll need Toastmaster, General Evaluator.
I've never been Toastmaster, so I can try that.
Awesome. I'll send you all the checklists. We just have a couple of checklists that just keep you on track. I can hold it up. I printed it out for my own use. Yeah. See, it just looks like a lot of words, but essentially just like introduce the reporters, et cetera, et cetera. And also a requirement for in-person meetings. I've been very lax because it'd just be, I feel, unnecessary for while we acclimated to the summers, but it is a requirement to be dressed professionally. So I wasn't enforcing that in these online meetings. But when we go in person, finally, you are supposed to dress professionally for the Toastmaster role.
How professionally?
Like professionally, like suit and tie. I want to see everything. And now a blazer at best would be sufficient.
Okay.
But
Blazer and tie?
What's that?
Blazer and tie?
Blazer and tie. So I think back in the past year, I've worn probably blazer, just blazer was sufficient. But then I have walked in with a full suit. Sometimes it's dressed professional, but like, you know, not a t-shirt to say the least. So a blazer at minimum, or you know, what women's equivalent's a nice dress attire, whatever. Not as familiar with that. So we got Noah, Sourin, Justin. I think that's all of us here, and we'll let the 3 other members know that there are some roles they can fill. I'll go ahead and put myself down for GE for now. And that does it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And that concludes our meeting. We're finishing at 6:07. So I think our meeting lasted about an hour. Not too bad. All right. With that, I'll pass it back to Noah. You can close out the meeting.
All right. Well, it's 6:08. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I know a lot of people couldn't make it because of different circumstances, so we understand. So just we're grateful to have what we have, and we're grateful to see everyone who was able to make it. So with that being said, this meeting is adjourned. Enjoy the rest of your week.